Hey everybody, welcome to Cougar Blitz. I'm just going to do a quick little intro. Main topics we're going to be talking about today. First off, just going over the Texas Tech game, talking about the outlook of BYU football going forward, maybe a little bit of the transfer portal, talk a little bit about the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and then talk about quite the basketball game today. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Should be a great episode. We're going to try to keep it nice and sweet and short. I don't know how sweet it's going to be when we really dive into the Texas Tech game, but everything else should be pretty good. So with that, Ami, what are your initial reactions to that Tech game?
It's definitely probably it's anger and sadness is probably the first feelings that you get out of that game. Because you have, or I guess I had the expectations that we were, ready for the game. We got Kalani back when he was literally gone to Penn State. He was literally gone. Got him back, and I think we're ready to go and beat Texas Tech, and then we just get smacked. But it really, honestly, the first drive was amazing. He ran the ball well. Our O line played really well. We threw some good plays in there to help us. That Parker Kingston pass to um, Preston Ryan, and it was good. And then all of a sudden, we just got well. The first half was good, and then second half it was turnover after turnover after turnover, and you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna win games when you do that. So it was a little sad, but um, yeah, sad and anger was the first feeling, but then after the game and after you look at it, like Texas Tech might be the best team in college football. So maybe it's not as bad as we think, but I don't know. What do you think? What was your initial reaction?
Um, I said some words that I had to apologize to my wife for in that third quarter. Up until that point, I thought like it was pretty all right. Like I had the opinion that if we could get into the fourth quarter in a close game, then we had a ball game because Texas Tech has never experienced that other than one time, and that was a loss to Arizona State. Um, so being within a possession, uh, when we're sitting at like 2 minutes left in the third quarter, I was feeling really good to be honest. And then all of a sudden, we have good old Aaron Roderick strike with a 3rd and 4. Let's run a left bootleg, pass play with a injured quarterback just into the teeth of a defense that can run literally zone or man, which I believe they ran zone. And so you just have a complete and utter complete clog up. And
Wait,
at that point, like, Bear should have just probably thrown it out. Like, you do have to put some blame on Bear, but also the kid's trying to make a play. I get it. But our defense was playing really good. Like, he probably should have just thrown that one away, lived to die another down, gone to the fourth quarter down 6 points. And that would have been ideal. Because I think if that happens, it's a completely different game. Because you have they would have gotten the ball. I think that BYU probably would have. Maybe if they did get some yardage, probably would have gone to the fourth quarter and they would have had it around the 40, like their 40, close to 50.
Was the fourth down play before that?
It was, and that was bad. But our defense was just fine. They didn't allow any points, and that went well. So that's where it's like, because yeah, that was literally the drive before. And so I understand that we're trying to be aggressive. We're trying to figure things out. And I didn't hate that we ran a pass play, giving Bear the option to be on his feet. But when you've got someone like Parker Kingston and you've got Carson Ryan who know how to find open space, and you condense that to 10 yards instead of taking 30 yards and going the opposite direction by literally just running to the right. You could have ran the exact same concept because the pass concept wasn't bad either. Like, you did have some open dudes and it was beating the zone, but because it was condensed, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter that it was a good concept against the zone that Texas Tech was running because they have the best linebackers in college football, and you just made them only have to cover 10 yards. 3 of them only have to cover like around 10-ish. I mean, 10 by 10, about 20 yards, because the receivers weren't running deep routes. And I just thought that was like, what do we do? What are we?
And I think
run that the opposite direction.
I think one thing that should be pointed out is that, say what they will, but that Texas Tech defense, like you're saying, Austin, is genuinely one of the best defenses in college football, if not the best in college football. And they proved that this week, especially. Like, as sad as it is to be an opposing fan, dang, that team's good. Like, that defense was locked down. And they knew exactly what they needed to do, and they shut us down where they needed to, and that's all it was.
I don't know if there's other than Indiana, I haven't seen a more complete team in college football this year. Because there have been teams like Ohio State, obviously we watched it against Indiana. They're just, like, there are teams that are really good, don't get me wrong, but Texas Tech is, like, complete. They don't make any mistakes on special teams. Their kicker's really good. Their defense is the most elite defense I've watched this year, and then their offense is nothing to complain about. Like, they're good. They're a good offense. They're not as elite. I wouldn't consider them elite, but they are very good. And when you have an elite defense, that's like all you need is a good offense, and they're a very good offense. So, yeah, they can sometimes be shut down, but they don't stay shut down for very long, and that's, in my opinion, where you go from like a good offense to a very good offense. Not elite, but very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their running backs are scary.
Yeah, their running backs are really good too. I feel like Georgia showed like they're pretty elite too. They just hammered Alabama, but give it up to Texas Tech. They forced the turnovers. Their linebacker Roberts had a crazy one, had to catch after he already intercepted or picked off there. And so it was like, hats off to their defense. And then LJ, a freak fumble.
Yep.
I think that was the only, one other time that a ball has escaped his hands, but I believe he recovered the first one. That might have been the very first.
Even Greg Wrubell and Hands on the radio were like, that's the most rare thing you're ever going to see out of a running back as good as LJ is a fumble like that. Like, that just doesn't happen, and it just so happened to happen this week. But it hasn't happened, but it just so happens that it was this week.
And it wasn't even really like a punch. It was his hand got ripped off.
Yep.
Of the ball, and then the ball just popped out. And so, it sucks because we're BYU fans and we see these turnovers happen, but at the same time, they're freak teams. Bear, you try to make plays, and I can't fault Bear for that. I do wish that, and I do wish, like, we can blame the play calling, but at the same time, Bear's hurt. So, I don't know. I feel like for the whole game, we were playing really conservative for Bear and his ankle. But I still feel like we could have thrown the ball way deeper so many more times, because I think 14 out of 19 passes went past 5 yards.
Yeah.
Or sorry, reverse that.
Yeah.
Five passes went past.
Yeah, and when we weren't conservative, it was on plays that I was just like, wait, I don't know why you're calling that play in this situation, like the fake reverse little spin action in the backfield thing that we had.
Yep.
It's like, okay, like, this is an elite defense. They're getting on a heater right now, and you're turning your injured quarterbacks back to the defense for a decent amount of time. really bad idea.
If anything, that
Your O-line
was.
is starting to break down.
It just felt like it was like, we could have called that play against Portland or against, TCU maybe, and it would have worked just fine. But against Texas Tech, like, guys, like, do you see how well they're knowing what we're gonna do? Like, they're pre-reading these holes and these openings, and they're shutting us down. Like, do we think that trick play is gonna really throw them off?
I think it could have worked in the first quarter, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Because I feel like our O-line was doing well in the first quarter. And it probably could have still worked in the second quarter because our O-line was still doing good enough. I just felt like they got worn down, like, by the third quarter. And then you had the missed punt, fake, and then you also had the pick. And so obviously morale and physicality are both being deteriorated a little bit. And so I just felt like that play, I don't mind that play. I just think that in a pivotal moment in the third quarter with a hobbled quarterback is just not the time to dial it up.
Yeah. I mean, it really just fell on Bruce Mitchell. Honestly, he's just slow getting over because they pulled, I think it was Leuso.
They did.
Pulled Leuso over, and he's the dude that. Yeah, that's just his assignment to get over, but he's just looking fast enough. But I mean, Bruce he's he's a Big 12 offensive lineman, I think, for the year, or maybe he's second team, first or second team. But he's a dog. But yeah, I agree. It's just like we were on our heels.
Yep.
And then that play call where it's like a tornado, almost a tornado reverse, where it's like a full 360. And we ran the play a lot actually throughout the season. And it's fine when we've called it, but when you have Texas Tech's defense and when they were heating up, like you said, Austin, it was just like maybe not the best call at that time, but we were trying to get back in the game. I don't hate it, but it's just like another hats off to Texas Tech.
Yep.
That dude exploded off the line. Beat Bruce to even like Bruce maybe got a hand on it, and then he hit it. LJ, like it was insane. So it was like a hats off to Texas Tech there, but yeah, it was a rough game, guys. It really sucks talking about it.
I think
what
made it so bad is that we were close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were close in the first half.
That's what I'm saying. Well, even the second half, it wasn't terrible. Like, the fact that we were still within 6 points after a failed punt, 2 minutes, like, only 2 minutes away from that fourth quarter.
Yep.
And I really do feel like if we could have gotten there, it would have been like, the defense would have come in, they were playing great, they would have been just fine, probably would have stopped them, or held them to a field goal. Now you're going into it being like, okay, we're down less than 10 points, it's just a 9-point game. And you get the break, you get to kind of regroup, morale like kind of gets a boost because you're like, dang, we're not that far off. But instead, you go into it down 14 because you also allow a 2-point conversion, and now it's just, now you're desperate.
Yeah, and no fault at the defense. Like it turned into the first game where we did not have the ball on their side of the half almost the entire second. Honestly, from the first drive until the end of the game, I don't know if we crossed the field again. Oh, actually, we did once because we kicked the long over and missed it. But it was like we got dominated.
We did get crushed.
Yeah, rough year for Wolf Aaron, but I mean, bounce back is real. Maybe it's just a little reset mentally. Because I mean, dude, he was set up to be All-American this year, and then he missed a few, and so. Maybe it's just a little reset mentally. He'll be back next year. I don't doubt that, unless he's a senior.
He's a senior.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he won't be back, but hopefully he gets a shot at the league. So he's a great kicker.
I think he'll get a shot at the league, to be honest.
Or maybe that guy we were talking about today from the 5th floor in our building, Austin, will pick him up as a recruit.
Yeah, for real. Oh man.
But
well,
it's exciting though.
Let's move on to more happier subjects, and that's let's talk about the outlook of BYU. because I did want to dive into this, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I think we're going to do more of a dive into the episode, so it'll be kind of brief, but with like the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But I want to talk about the future of BYU football, kind of what we see with returners, what we see with guys who we think we're probably going to go, whether it's the league or whatever, and then maybe our thoughts on the portal and maybe what we think BYU needs to go get. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about the trajectory of the program going into next year?
I think one thing that's massive is, you know, where we've been in the Big 12 for a while now. Like we're not the new guys on the block anymore necessarily. Like we made it to the Big 12 championship. I think that's a good mark of, being big time in a big league. Getting massive respect all across the board from the Big 12. Kalani's Coach of the Year. LJ's right up there in the top rankings. He's getting respect. Bear's getting respect. A couple guys on the defense as well. Chase Roberts. Even Kelly Papinga and Jay Hill are also getting just massive ups from the Big 12. And BYU itself, you can tell, is thriving in the Big 12. And I think, as we get to be kind of a regular in the Big 12, we're always going to be some team that people are going to watch out for and be wary of, like, oh man, yeah, BYU's good. Like, get ready. Like, BYU's good. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had back-to-back 11-win seasons, B12 this year. So, I mean, and then we also had the best recruiting class that we've ever had in program history. So it's such refreshing, like, end of year, like, okay, we got the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Honestly, I hope we win that game. If we lose, I'm not too worried because, like, whatever. I don't think we will, but, like, whatever because of our, recruiting class that we got coming back. And then we also, I mean, Kalani with his new contract, not only he got paid, all of the coaches and his assistants got paid. And then NIL got a massive boost. And so we can go to the transfer portal. We can get the guys that we need to. I mean, there's a few that are already in the transfer portal from bigger schools that maybe we could go after. But what do you guys think our main focus should be on? Just kind of like random question. Our main focus should be on the portal.
Good question. You and I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier today. We're mostly on the same page. I think it's just like the ranking of where we think position groups should be at is close, but not quite the same. I would say for me, I think number one's O-line. I mean, like, we're going to lose Jada because Jada's a senior. We're going to lose Leusa, and I think that he's been awesome as like a plug-and-play guy. He could play any position, so he's been great. It's going to kind of suck to lose him. We get Bruce Mitchell back. We get Gentry back, which is, I think, really good. But we need to go get a superstar at left tackle. Unless they move Gentry to left tackle, then we need to go get somebody who can fill that right tackle spot. And then we need to go get another guard that can replace Lapawaho because he's a senior that is a superstar. Then at that point, I'm not too worried about it. So we need two, like I'm not just talking like Gentry type. Like, not that Gentry's bad, but he's kind of more of a guy that came in that's been good. He's been a very good starter. But I'm saying, like, at the echelon above that is what I want at that guard spot and that tackle spot. Because if you have that, you've got depth in, like, Joe Brown and I think it's Trevor Pay, but the younger, like, the middle Pay. I think that he'll be really good giving him an actual, like, full season and off season. As a depth piece. Yeah, and you've got a couple other guys in there that, like, depth-wise are going to be fantastic, but I want those guys to be starters when they're juniors, not when they're redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores, because that'll tell me that we have legit talent, like, not just talent, but, like, high-end talent at that spot, and I think that we need it. Like, it kind of showed against Texas Tech. Like, we need elite guys to pair with those guys, because I think that Bruce Mitchell is elite, and giving him another year, he will be. I think Gentry's the same, but I just want to see that in those two other holes that we're gonna have. Guys that are like NFL, like everybody, no questions asked, NFL guys out of the portal, and then after that, running back. If we do not add somebody with Sione Moa, like that's a problem, big time problem. I think that Moa can be our starter, but I want somebody that's the same level as Moa to back him up, and then somebody maybe just below that as a third option because we've had too many injuries at running back.
Yeah, I think Pokai Auma is coming back because he's at
If
Snow
he
right
is,
now.
then we just need one.
I
We
think
just
he's
need
coming
one
back.
guy that's that
Yeah.
same level, so we can have a three-headed monster at running back. Then I'd feel okay about that. Right now, without knowing if Pokai is coming back, and then only knowing really about Moa, and then trying to build within the depth that we have, which I like Isaac Rex. I think that he should be like more of a gadget slot receiver, running back kind of hybrid. I think that he would thrive in that, but I don't want him to be like our like if Moa gets injured or if we're trying to bring in a second guy. I don't think that I want Rex in that unless he adds some weight and can actually like go run some dudes over, which he could over the offseason, I guess. But still, like the running back vision, because he's only been a running back for less than a season, like a whole season. So he hasn't built that running back vision, and maybe he will, but I still think it's smart to go get at least one, maybe two, depending on if Pokai comes back. And then I think D tackle, adding depth there would be massive, just so that if we want to plug holes in the running game, there's no, like the O lines that we play are getting no push. Like if we play a Texas Tech again next year in the conference title game, I don't want to see any push happening where a running back's not being touched for 3 yards. I want that running back at least being like attempted to be tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And the only way that's going to happen is if we get depth at that tackle spot, which I know we talked about. And then wide receiver. I think we need to go get at least two guys that are Chase Roberts-like to help out with. Because Parker Kingston and Cody Hagan are fantastic slot wide receivers, and I think Cody Hagan can be a good wide, but I think that he could thrive with his speed if you had two like true, tall, lengthy, really good route running, catch whatever's thrown to them wideouts like Chase Roberts on the edges. That would make our pass game scary. And tight end. I didn't even think about that. Tight
That's
end
huge.
Because we're losing Erickson and
Carson
Ryan.
Yeah. I know Brock Harris is going on a mission, but the other 4-star tight end, I don't think he is. I think he's coming straight.
So he's gonna get probably need one.
Probably one. And I don't know who else is in the tight end room.
Good. He's actually a really good blocking tight end, and you can catch. Kean Need, I think is how you pronounce his first name.
Need.
Yeah, he's really good blocking tight end, and he's decent out of the backfield. Not like Carson Ryan good, but really good at blocking. Not Carson Ryan good at catching, but can do it. We need one guy. Because I just don't know if we can trust a true freshman to come in and just put up Carson Ryan production, in terms of like being able to catch the ball and block.
I mean, this dude's a 4-star out of high school. That's like, if you're a 4-star, 5-star, you're kind of supposed to be ready for college level, unless you're at like Alabama or something. There's another 5-star ahead of you. But.
And that 4-star that you're talking about, it starts with a G. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think that he had decent weight, like he had college ready weight, so that might.
Yeah.
That's usually the biggest problem when you bring in a true freshman tight end, is like they're tall enough, and they can run routes and everything like that, but do they have the weight to actually like be consistently good at blocking?
Yeah. What's his name? Can you look that up for us real quick?
Yeah.
He's out of Colorado, isn't he?
Because I feel bad not knowing his name because I love the recruiting class so much. So I want to make sure we say his name.
How crazy is that, dude?
He gets the respect that
tight
he
ends.
needs. Yeah, it's amazing.
And then a high 3-star too.
Yeah, and then we got the 2 4-star brothers, the Pula twins.
Massive.
We got Ryder Lyons. He's a 5-star. They took a star away, but it's like, bro, how are you taking a star away mid-season out of nowhere? And he's been balling. Like, he hasn't even played bad. He's been He's been killing it. But it's whatever.
He didn't commit to the team with the green jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that kid literally got a 5-star. Like he got his 5th star out of nowhere.
Yep. Yep.
Why is it only? It's only pulling up the 2025. Give me a second here. I'm gonna find it.
While you're looking at that, let's talk a little bit about just now that we're looking forward. I want to hear your opinion of what we need to go get in the transfer portal. While he pulls that up.
Yeah, I think
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Brock Harris, Ty Ghosh.
That's his name, Ty Ghosh.
That's it.
And then Parker Ord.
He's gonna be good too.
All some big old white dudes. That's what I'm talking about.
Ord and Ghosh.
Yeah, dude.
Ghosh, let's see, he's 6'6", 220. So he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's on probably about 15 pounds, but nothing undoable.
He's a 4-star out of Cherry Creek. He was also, this is interesting, he was also recruited by Arizona, Arkansas, Auburn, Cal, Florida, Michigan, Penn State, TCU, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Tulane, Utah, and Vanderbilt. The dude was being hunted, but he chose BYU. So.
Well, and if I remember right, he was like a low 3-star when he committed to BYU. So he's like the rare case of he's committed to BYU and he still goes up in ranking. That never happens. Yep. So he is really good if that's the case.
And then the other guys here, Brock Harris, 245, he's 6'6". And Parker Ord, he's the smallest of the three.
He's a mission boy, dude.
Yeah, they're big dudes. And then Parker Ord is 215 and he's 6'4".
Okay, so he needs to put on like 20 pounds.
Yeah. Honestly, they probably both would. They probably want him at 235, 240. Honestly, I think Carson Ryan's almost 250.
Get into that strength and conditioning and then the nutrition plan over at BYU by the end of
the good old Legends Grill diet.
They'll probably be there. Yeah, they'll be there.
They'll be all right. Yeah. It's honestly unbelievable how good our strength and conditioning and nutrition team is. It's awesome to hear. But transfer portal, kind of want to hear your take as well on what you think we should go get. But I think the biggest thing that we need to become very elite, like literally, in the same conversation as Texas Tech and the big schools, is just the O-line and D-line. I think that's the biggest thing, that if you want to become an elite talent team, you start in the trenches, because that controls the whole game. And if we can do that, then we're going to be elite. So I think Bruce Mitchell, I think he's really good. I think he's at that elite level. Gentry, he's really good, and I think he just gets better. One, he's going to be in the system another year. He'll be not injured. I think he was injured almost every year that he's at Michigan, so he won't be injured and fully healthy for an entire offseason that he'll have. And then, we go pick up 3 pieces because we're losing Waylon, Lisa, and Jada. But, I mean, we also had Mocassini. I don't think Mocassini graduated.
Yeah, Mocassini was pretty good. And Safar Choke, and those 2 guys are really good.
Yeah.
I like them.
They were awesome because they all rotated and they did a good job when they came in. But the biggest thing is they're going to be in the system another year with Woods, and then they're going to get better. But I think we just need a tackle and maybe a guard. The biggest thing is a tackle. That's we need to go get a 5-star, 4-star talent. Hopefully,
that kid from Colorado,
and bring him in.
Exactly. That kind of kid is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, same. And there's another one from, I think LSU is transferring out. He's like a 4 or 5-star redshirt sophomore. It's okay, we can go get him. But I mean, he's tough, so it's kind of hard for that. But and he'll talk. And then D-line, I think Tanu Vasa, he got double teamed all year, but I think he's the caliber player that he could have and should have got through that a few more times and made those big plays for loss. and then yeah, and then we got a JT's gone, so it'll be JT's gone, so it's got to be replace him, and that's the biggest things I think we need to replace the interior D lineman, and then just maybe one or two pieces for the offensive lineman just to upgrade big time. I think are just the biggest pieces in my take.
I agree with you, and it gives me hope too that one of the recruits that we got, Jax Tanner from Meridian, Idaho, he's a 3-star, but I'm looking at the stats, and he had 115 pancake blocks and surrendered 0 sacks in the entire 2024 season. That makes me feel pretty good. I feel like that's a pretty solid stat to have. To have 0 surrendered sacks is almost unheard of. But with what you're saying, Ami, I think we got to go young too. I think we got to get some guys that we're going to be able to, start good and end better. And not that we need to be a development team for them, but to get some guys that are good now but can grow, especially with leaders like next year Bruce Mitchell, or if he gets drafted, or these guys that are staying, that they can kind of follow that lead, see what a good example is, and do that. I think a crucial position.
Question real quick on that, because we just went 11-2 last year, possibly 12-2 this year, or 11-3, probably 12-2. If we get developmental guys, if we lost a few more games, would you be okay with that? Or do you think BYU is at the position where it's like, if we're not getting to the Big 12 championship game, that is a huge letdown?
Yep. I think exactly that. Like, we shoot for younger, like sophomore or junior is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, maybe not go for some true freshman guys. Obviously, you still want those, but you want big boys. You want dudes who can move as well. I think it's so important to be a little bit mobile too. Like, we saw it a couple times this year with Waylon and Bruce Mitchell, especially tackling our guys forward into the end zone on their own team. Like, I haven't seen that very often in the NFL or in college football. That's elite level play right there, to have the ball knowledge to tackle your own guy forward into the end zone. I mean, or even just push your guy forward. Like, that's so smart. Like, we need some people that are going to be, hammers, not nails, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that does make sense. But
yeah, absolutely.
You got to get some young guys, but guys who can develop into great, but are great right now too. You kind of, I feel like you got to stack guys behind them as well. We can't just be bare bones offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that's a good take, honestly. I think we definitely do need some backups, but it's like we also can't have someone needing to develop throughout the season, because if we lose a game or two because of it, it'll be so bad. It'll be a huge letdown.
Huge disappointment.
Yep. And Kalani too, because Kalani's biggest thing, why he, according to some reports, why he said, "Hey, I'm coming to Penn State," is because he wanted to win a national championship. And so if we regressed at all, I think Kalani would not be happy.
Yeah.
And so I would expect a very aggressive transfer portal for the right guys. I don't think we're going to go get like 20 dudes. I think we're going to go get, maybe 5 to 10 solid guys that fit the culture and what Kalani's trying to build, and then go from there.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. And I think that they're, like, just in the current state of things, I think we are going to lose a couple guys, kind of like last year, where it's like, Harry Taggart, Keelan Marion, where it's like, oh man, like, Jake Retzlaff, but that was a little bit different, obviously. But where it's just kind of like, man, what happened? Like, why are we losing these guys? And yeah, I think that will happen again this year. But I think that, this year, it was kind of like we lost those guys, and it was kind of like a net neutral. Like, it wasn't a negative or a positive with the guys that we brought in. It was kind of just like we reloaded, and we were kind of just at the same level.
I think at quarterback, it was a net extreme positive. Personally,
I do think that it was a positive. And I think that not only is it a positive, but it's going to be a positive moving forward.
Oh yeah,
obviously, because he's got a higher ceiling, because he's young.
we're also looking at like, I mean, the dude scans the field like no other, and he's, that's Steve Young territory. That's, we don't want to call it early, but I mean, you look at some of the stats that these guys had: Steve Young, Ty Detmer, Robbie Bosco. Like the greats of BYU football. He's near that same level.
I would agree, but I think this year it's going to be most definitely net positive. Even if we have a handful of dudes that are currently like were starters last year that we're expecting to come back, I just think that with what you mentioned, Nami, the commitment that Kalani has to, like, if we don't go to a conference title game moving forward because of how much Kalani's getting paid, it's not just going to be like it's going to be a disappointment to Kalani and the coaching staff, to the players, and to the boosters if you don't go to the title game. And that's like it's like title game or bust at this point, just with what's been talked about. And that's not me being a homer. That's not me saying like that everyone should feel that way. But that's definitely how the coaching staff, the players, and the boosters are going to feel going forward. And so they're going to be aggressive in the transfer portal, especially if dudes do hit it. They're not going to sit around like they have in years past, just kind of getting the guys that are culture fits. Not that they're going to go get guys that aren't, but they're going to be aggressive and go get guys that you normally wouldn't think. In my opinion, there's going to be at least two or more that like you wouldn't initially think would take BYU. Kind of like, I guess Akana was kind of like that. Like we missed him coming out of high school, and then he hit the portal out of Texas, and a lot of people like we were hopeful that he'd come to BYU with the talent that he had, but that wasn't a guarantee because our NIL wasn't as competitive as like some other teams, and he chose BYU. But I think that now NIL is going to not just be on par, it's going to be competitive with the top echelon of college football, which is just going to automatically get you into doors of kids that are from Utah that want to go back home, or kids that are LDS that want to give BYU a shot.
I agree, 100%. 100%, I agree with that.
Yep, absolutely.
So future's bright. It looks good.
Future's bright. I think we got some stuff to work on in the off season too, for sure.
Correct. But schedule next year looks nice.
It does look pretty good.
Want to hear the schedule?
Go for it.
We start off with Utah Tech, then we play Cal at home, and I mean Cal actually looked like they've looked okay the last 2 years, like not complete garbage. And then they've got I forget how to pronounce that Polynesian freshman quarterback's last name. BYU's trying to get him. Yeah, he's really good. You're going to give him another season. So that's going to be an exciting game just because like I personally know somebody who's related to him. So there's going to be a lot of people that go there to support him and BYU. So that's going to be a fun game. Then we got Colorado State at Colorado State. I don't know what we're doing with ECU, going to ECU, and now we're going to Colorado State, but that's going to be a win. Not worried about that. We got Arizona. Arizona looked really nasty at the end of the season, so that's going to be interesting, but it's at home, so I feel good about that. We finally get Arizona State again, so we can kick freaking Kenny Dillingham's team in the rear end and send them home packing.
Oh, man.
Then we've got Baylor. Baylor.
At Baylor?
Probably.
Or is that home? Is that 3 home games in a row?
At home. So Baylor should be firing Dave Andrada by the end of the year this year. Finally. And then we've got Iowa State. They're going to be breaking in a whole new coaching staff and probably get completely picked off with players in the transfer portal. So they're not going to be good. They're not going to be like Iowa State this year or the year before. Cincinnati. I think Sorsby was a junior, so he'll be a senior. So that's actually going to be a good team. Kansas. I hate Kansas because like whenever we play them, we suck.
Is that at Kansas?
It is.
Oh boy,
Kansas.
Big time.
And then we go to TCU. I always hate going to TCU. And then we go to UCF in Orlando, and then we play at Utah. So.
Utah's our last game of the year.
That's what they have listed right now, but we'll see if that actually happens.
Bryce Eccles at the end of the year is crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts,
love it.
dude. A lot of hype building up to that game.
So out of conference, not that crazy. Cal, I think, will actually be really good. They are breaking in a new head coach, though. So it'll be a fun game, but it'll be better than Stanford. But
yeah, if we want the national respect, we need to go play Notre Dame preseason or
agreed.
A&M or something. It is just. But then there's a two-edged sword because Texas played Ohio State and they got hurt for it, even though Ohio State was the number 1 team in the nation. They lost by 7. It hurt them because they had that 3 loss.
Or with Notre Dame, they could just
better.
Notre Dame could just cancel the game and not show up, and just say, "Nah, we're okay."
Notre Dame, according to Big 12, Locked On Big 12, Notre Dame's in the talks to join in the Big 12.
So
wow.
I have heard that. Now, one thing that I would say to that is I don't think that Brett Yormark's doing any favors for that. Because today he made he talked about the AD of Notre Dame saying, I think his behavior has been egregious.
Ooh.
In response to what he was saying about Miami and down-talking Miami and then down-talking the ACC and getting out of that. And it's like, what are we doing? Brett, what are we doing?
but yeah, I know. It's like, dude, they're going to come pay us big bucks, and that's another national brand team that's like, if any team in the Big 12 beats them, we're more legit than any other team. Because everybody in the Big 12 or everybody in the nation looks at the Big 12 and is like, not good. Like Tech now, they respect them. Maybe depends on how they play throughout the playoffs. But if let's say they go win 1 or 2 games and then maybe they win the whole thing, they'll be respected. If we brought on Notre Dame, they're respected. That gives Utah, BYU,
Notre Dame.
Honestly, I feel like those 4 teams right there would be the top of the Big 12, and then like, it would like teeter off. But it would give those 4 teams, whoever beat each other, a legit win. Where it's like, hey, BYU beat Notre Dame, or Notre Dame beat Texas Tech, Texas Tech beat Utah. It's like it just makes everything more legit and more respectable on the national stage. So I think it'd be huge. And to your point, Austin, it's like, what is our commissioner doing right now? Bring them in. We don't need them, but it would be nice to have them.
Well, he also said some stuff about BYU, saying I was happy about BYU. Was I happy about BYU? No, but I think overall they did the right job. I was like, talking about the CFP committee. I'm like, what is Brett doing, dude? Like, you're over here. You should be just as pissed as Notre Dame's AD and Miami's AD and the ACC when they were, crying like babies about Miami not getting in. But look what ended up happening. They ended up getting in. So sitting around and just pretending like everything's fine and, being the nice one and the adult in the room just is not what we need right now. We need the squeaky wheel right now.
Yeah, we definitely need someone saying, hey, we need 2 teams from the Big 12 in. That's what we need.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's whatever.
Yep.
But, hey.
We got a bowl game.
BYU basketball.
Vegas didn't think we were going to get to a bowl game. We got a bowl game.
We got a bowl game. Georgia Tech. Pop-Tarts Bowl. We'll talk about it later, but
good.
Stay tuned.
Another episode, but I like that. I like that matchup. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Thinking about going. We'll see.
BYU basketball tonight.
Ooh, baby.
Dang.
So
I'm be very angry.
And then very happy.
Yes.
Let me break this down because I was, just looking at the 2 halves. The first half, the score was 43-22. Okay, overall, that makes Clemson look really, really good in the first half. Check this out, though. BYU went 45-21 in the second half. So what they did to us in the first half, we did even more to them in the second half. It was just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think it was an excellent game in the second half. The second half show, like, it's kind of like we talked about. Second half BYU, if they show up, it's scary. Just
It is.
overall.
But this team though is just different because of the star power we have. That's what makes me like not as scared. Because if this was last year or any year prior, I literally would have turned off the game because I knew we lost. Like I'd be like, yeah, we lost. This year with AJ, it's like he might bring us back by himself, and tonight he did.
Dude,
He was everything and more of what everyone expected.
well, he had 28 points total during the game, which is a fantastic game, right? 22 of those points came second half. That's as much as we scored in the first half he had alone in the second half. What a freaking baller.
I mean, he had a
Insane.
stretch where he was like 0 of 7 from the field or something like that to close out the second half or the first half, and then he still ended up at 9 for 17 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. And then the other thing that just kills me is like, dude, 9 rebounds and 6 assists with that 28 points. Monster.
The dude's a baller.
Those assists too were huge because I think 3 of them were lobs to Keba, and they were nasty dunks, and it was this huge momentum boost. I mean, I can't say enough about AJ, man. That game was so fun to watch. Just him watching a BYU player. This is as a BYU fan forever, and have been only this excited about Jimmer Fredette when he became, Jimmer. That was insane. But now it's like we're watching a literally probably the first or second pick in the NBA draft become the superstar he's supposed to be. Oh man, it makes my heart so happy as a BYU fan, and I feel like BYU Nation agrees wholeheartedly. We watch this dude do a nasty dunk down the middle of the lane and flex, and it's like, holy crap, BYU as a bona fide superstar.
And one name we haven't brought out too that was a superstar in this game is Rob Wright, dude.
Oh yeah.
17 points, and 12 points of that came in the second half. The dude was on a heater, but jeez, like what?
He's the game winner.
Yeah, he's a baller, dude. He came up with it and actually he played. It was so good.
I mean, Richie Saunders had a rough night shooting. He had 5 points. He was 2 of 11, and he was 0 of 7 from the 3-point line. But he played really good defense. He got good rebounds when they mattered. I mean, he had 2 like pivotal blocks towards the end of that comeback when we like needed those blocks to go up. Because there was a block that he had right before we ended up going up by like a point, I think.
Yeah,
That
it was the block
massive.
on that.
Yep, and then that block. Yeah, like when you look at the stat line, it doesn't look great, but he had a couple of blocks that were massive, a steal that was huge, and he didn't turn the ball over hardly at all in the second half, and then he was just like, it was more of a pulling the defense towards him because they know that if he gets hot, like you can't just not guard. It doesn't matter how many shots he's missed. You can't just not guard Richie.
Yeah, you can't just leave him. Yeah, it's so true.
He
does
was
so much
like
more
pulling
than
the
just...
defense in and then just letting AJ go do his thing and Rob go do his thing, and and then playing really, really good defense. And even without those, like, the steals and the blocks were good, but he consistently wasn't letting his guy get to the rim or have easy buckets. Playing really solid defense. Like the team as a whole was playing like legit.
They're
defense.
playing very, very good.
Even the first half, the defense wasn't like terrible. It's just Clemson was on a heater and making shots that were ridiculous. but the second half, that defense was like they put clamps down on Clemson. Like it was ridiculous how clamped up they put them on. Like especially for a team like
Yeah.
Clemson. Clemson's a good team. They're a good ball team.
Yeah, Clemson. I mean, don't be surprised if they make a run this year, March Madness or something, because they're nice. Um, but I think the effort on the defensive side was turned up a notch in the second half because everyone was. This is more hustle everywhere. AJ, Rob, Keba had a few huge blocks. He had another volleyball spike this game, which was so sick.
So good.
Honestly, I wish I was there just to flex with him.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I think
But
a huge part of it too is Kevin Young.
Oh yeah.
This is a quote from him, and this is from just a recap of the game. When asked about the difference between half 2 and half 1, he says, "I thought it was just the look in their eye got different. I thought we were kind of blank and a little lifeless in the first half. I challenged the guys to come out more with a competitive spirit. I thought it showed its head more on the glass. They hurt us quite a bit in the first half, and that's a big, strong physical team. I thought our guys responded. Just our trench warfare mentality was much better in the second half." The dude's using words like trench warfare mentality. That's NCAA championship level talk, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
oh yeah,
Oh no, I agree. Now, one thing that I thought was kind of funny, there was somebody who posted something. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Clemson's roster, but somebody said, and this is post Jimmer on X. He said, "Never thought I'd see the day when Clemson started more Mormon kids than BYU in that game at Madison Square Garden. But here we are. What a time to be alive." And this is talking about Carter Welling, who I think that he's a RM that's from Draper, played
Oh, wow.
at Corner Canyon. And then you've got Jake Whalen, who played at Timpview and is an RM that was committed to BYU before his mission and played at Utah for a year, or 2 years, and now is at Clemson.
Wow.
I
So,
didn't know that.
and those two guys
Crazy.
were there. Yeah. So Whalen and Welling are both Utah boys, both LDS. Welling played at UVU. Whalen played at the U.
Wow.
So both of them were
It's a cool
recruited
story.
by
And that
the
is
previous
crazy.
coaching staff. Yeah.
That is crazy, actually.
Yeah. Because the only starter that
Uh,
we have that's LDS is
Richie.
Richie as a starter. Yeah. I don't even know if we
Crazy.
have, other than Baker Dawson, we didn't have. I don't think we have anybody else that's LDS actually on the team.
See, I have no idea.
Oh no, the kid from Corner Canyon,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kislowski, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Brody. So
That's
three.
crazy.
3 of them.
That's nuts.
That's unreal. But
So
I mean, all in all, man, it was such a cool game. It was so nice to see Rob Wright hit the only 3 ever in that little plastic thing. That was just so cool to watch. Great game from most of the players. First half, of course, was not good, but it was so fun to watch. It was so nice to see everybody start playing well, see AJ come out. But one thing I do hope to see like more of in the future is that more consistency.
Yep.
From Richie, but also just the bench in general. Our bench is very, or they're struggling a lot right now.
Yeah.
And it's like if AJ's not on the floor, especially in this game, it was like we had no points anywhere. Like no one could really generate, except for Rob. But yeah, those 2 things, like Richie being a little more consistent, which he'll find his stride sooner or later, early in the season, and then just our bench play. Then I trust Kevin Young to do his thing and the whole coaching staff.
Yep.
yeah, I think a person that I'm hoping that has been playing well but has had like the Dayton game and this game struggled a little bit is Boop.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I don't know, he just seems to like he's really athletic, he's really strong. He seems to be mistiming like going for blocks and stuff like that, which has been putting him in bad positions. He's been getting a lot of fouls because of it. and then he hasn't been as consistent in those 2 games. And those 2 teams were like they just play a very aggressive style, especially crashing the boards. And you could tell that it just kind of affected him a little bit. And I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, like he's young, so it's okay. But like that's probably the biggest thing that I think, like, because we can't have Kata in there the whole game, but we still need to get rebounds.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing is like Kata got in foul trouble because of the aggressiveness, and it's a similar like they're similar players. Like Kata's amazing. But he can be susceptible to foul calls because he's so aggressive, and they kind of played into that with Kata, and then they did the same thing to Boop in this game in the first half, and then Kata came back in the second half, and he did awesome at not getting fouls, but still being aggressive. So, that was a big game changer, and then getting rebounds. Like everybody was getting rebounds in the second half, and that's what we really needed.
It's all good stuff. It's good to see. I think we're national championship. We're in the tourney for sure. I'm excited to see how far we go, and just the rest of the season. I hope our team continues to develop that rhythm and play as the second half team the whole time. That's all I want to see. Just play that second half team the whole time. Just do that. We know how to do it clearly. Yeah. Just do it.
And that's where we go from, like we've talked about, Ethan, we go from being a very good basketball team
to a scary good team.
Scary good. Scary BYU.
I want people to show up to the Delta Center, and I want people to show up to Marriott Center and feel scared to be there and intimidated. That's what I want. I think that's what we all want.
I want them to feel scared when we go to their courts.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we show up in the first 10 minutes, I want them to be
they're like, oh, jeez, we got BYU again.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's starting to look that way. But we appreciate everybody listening to this episode. This is Cougar Blitz. We appreciate all the BYU fans that are listening. Be on the lookout for our next episode. We're going to be touching on the Pop-Tart Bowl, kind of dive deep into that matchup with Georgia Tech. And then we'll touch up on basketball, maybe some if people hop in the portal or whatever, or potential targets that we might hit. So just be lookout on the next episode. We appreciate you guys. I'm Ami.
I'm AC, go Cougs.
I'm Ethan, go Cougs. Let's go.
Go Cougs, baby.